Hey everybody, this is James, Rattlesnake Defense. It is the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. As I'm sure a lot of you are, I'm a little bit of a history buff. Being a gun guy, you have to respect the classics, the history of the guns, the provenance, and of course, a lot of things like that. So here I have a handful of antique firearms to show you guys, and we're going to shoot them and go over them. This won't be a particularly educational video. This is just more having fun out. Full respect to all those guys that went out there with this stuff on D-Day. So first we have a 1903 A3 Smith Corona 30-06 bolt action. Now, I don't know that there was any of these on the beaches or in the fields anywhere at Normandy. I'm sure some of you history buffs could let me know. I'm pretty sure there would have been some A4s, but I don't know if there were any A3s. These were typically carried by the Marines, but we're going to shoot this a little bit and see if we're half as good as they were. Next, I got an Inland M1 carbine, 30 carbine, semi-auto. This is probably on my list of personal favorites. I like the weight and the size of it a lot, but it lacks the firepower of this Springfield M1 Garand. Now, if you guys watch any of my videos, you know I'm a pretty big fan of 30-06. This is classic Americana. This gun is actually super interesting. It's a 1939 model, pre-World War II. It's a 5-digit serial number. So, really early, nice example of a super clean M1 Garand. Cartouches, everything still here. Fantastic. Of course, you wouldn't be complete without your Remington Rand 1911-45 sidearm. And to complete everything, we have a grease gun. Now, unlike the rest of these you've seen, this is a replica. Of course, the grease gun is full auto, open bolt design. This is a copy of like the OSS model, which would be suppressed, so you could have the 16-inch barrel. So this one's been modified to make it legal to own without spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So the closest we can get here. I don't have a Tommy gun, unfortunately, but I got a pretty hot take on those. I'll tell you a little bit later. But first things first, in that order, let's get some shells, and we're going to shoot all these and see what we think. Okay. Maybe my remote's dead. All right, so bolt action 30-06. Given all the other options here, this would probably be my personal least ideal. Plenty of knockdown, but the bolt action doesn't give you the amount of firepower that I'd want to get the Germans down for sure. But it is very accurate. Of course, it's slower to load. Plenty of knockdown, good at medium, longer range. I'm sure the guys could shoot these really well. But this isn't my personal favorite. But, I mean, this is what all the guys in the Pacific had, mostly. So it's very reliable. Good American cartridge, all that. Let me get the M1 carbine loaded up. All right, I got everything staged up now. No more cuts. So if I screw up, you'll just see me screw up. Of course, these videos are completely, this is on the spot, kind of spur of the moment thing we thought of. I don't do scripts, so, you know, it is what it is. M1 carbine. This is probably one of my personal favorites. I like the size of the weight of this a lot. It feels a lot more portable. It lacks the firepower of the heavier hitting cartridges, but you have a lot higher rate of fire, and to get through the brush or something, I feel like this would be a lot easier, especially for the paratroopers. Again, super reliable. It's not the hardest hitting cartridge out here. Of course, everything, in my opinion, at this point in time in history was kind of overkill. I mean, shortly before, I mean, the 30-06 is probably too much for a human. But hey, now, my favorite, M1 Garand. And it makes the really pretty sound too. Don't get Garand thumb. This is my favorite out of all of these. The fact that you could shoot semi-auto when the bad guys only had bolt actions mostly, I feel like gave everybody a huge advantage. I know these were expensive and mechanically it's a lot more complicated than a bolt action, but the ability to suppress and you get the famous ding. Now, who doesn't love that? That's about as American as it gets. With that end block kicking out, you could reload fast, get your head down, 8 more rounds, close it. You might mash your fingers, but I really think this was an excellent weapon for the day and age. And I think it's still an excellent weapon. I think, hot take, even in modern combat, a gun like that would still be effective. You think I'm stupid? Fight me on it. The 1911, unfortunately, we weren't ready. We didn't bring the proper rounds for this, where this is a collectible pistol. We don't want to shoot modern ammo through it. So, you guys have seen people shoot 1911s. That's nothing new. Now, this is really interesting. If you've never seen one of these, the way that you have to work it is to actually put your finger on the bolt here and let go. Now, of course, normally it would be open bolt. So the cover here would have been your safety. With the open bolt, there'd be a tab to prevent it from closing. So it'd be open, you'd have this closed, flip that open, drop your magazine. Ours is just semi-auto. Well, and it doesn't like the modern ammo we got. No big surprise there. All right, so that one's not going to play nice. Mushed a cartridge in there. We'll take care of that. But there's only a handful of these replicas out there. I've shot this before. We just don't have the proper ammo. We kind of left out in a hurry trying to beat the rain today. But I don't know if this is all educational or something you guys are curious about. There's a lot of these guns on the market. They're getting really expensive. If it's something you want to get into, you should probably consider doing it sooner than later, because every year there's less and less of these things around. Just do some research, get a hold of somebody you know. I've seen fakes. They exist. So keep that in mind, and I hope you guys have some good days ahead shooting. Thank you.